In today's video, I'm going to share one of the most effective and best strategies that leaders have used to become successful. Whenever I interview CEOs and business leaders for podcasts, for my books, for things that I'm working on, one of the questions that I always like to ask them is, how did you get to where you are? In other words, why did you get to where you are and not somebody else? And I get a lot of really great responses from people, but there's one common one that always comes up. They do 10% more than what they are asked to do. Now, in my most recent book, The Future Leader, I talk about 4 mindsets and 5 skills that current and aspiring leaders need to embrace. And even though those are all still true, there is still no substitute for hard work, for being good at your craft, for being good at the work that you are actually doing. There's no substitute for that. And this is why a lot of these business leaders are telling me they do 10% more than what is asked of them. So what does 10% actually mean? Well, if you were working on a project and you have a deadline for Friday, see if you can get that project done on Wednesday or Thursday instead. If you are working with a client who's expecting a certain set of deliverables, is there something you can add, something that goes a little bit above and beyond to delight your customer, to add even more value to the work that you are doing for them? Hey, really quick, if you're enjoying these types of videos, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel to get more content just like this, including interviews with CEOs, some of the world's top business leaders, and best-selling authors. So what is the 10% more that you can bring to the table to really stand out? One of the analogies that always comes into my mind is going to a restaurant. And I love great food, and one of the things that I oftentimes love at restaurants is the restaurants that give you that little extra, right? You sit down and they bring you that warm bread with the olive oil or the butter, or maybe they give you that little the palate cleansing dish in between your courses, or they'll maybe throw in like a little chocolate at the very end for dessert. It's just like these little tiny things that some of these restaurants do that are unexpected, where you're like, oh, that's really cool, or that's great, or that's delicious, or I enjoy it. Like, it's just something, that little extra that goes above and beyond, as opposed to going to some of the other restaurants where you don't get any of that. And it doesn't mean you don't enjoy those restaurants. They're still great, you still enjoy the food, but it's those restaurants that give you that little extra that I think you really remember and enjoy and want to go back to. So think of the work that you are doing in that same way. What is that little bread course that you can add? What is that little free dessert that you can bring to the table? Just that little something that goes above and beyond to deliver 10% more than what you are asked to do. If you can do that, then you're gonna start to find that you're gonna be standing out from your peers, standing out from your competitors. You're gonna get noticed, you're gonna get promoted, you're gonna get those tough jobs, those opportunities that are gonna allow you to grow and excel in your career. So again, this doesn't need to be a huge thing, but ask yourself, what is that 10% that you can do? And I can promise you that 10%, even though it's a small thing, it's gonna go a long way. Thanks again for tuning into the show, and don't forget to go to 6leadershiptrends.com to grab a copy of my brand new PDF, which is going to walk you through the 6 trends that are shaping leadership and what it means to be a leader. And it will also give you action items for what you should be doing for each one of these 6 trends to adapt and evolve so that you can be a better leader in the future of work. Again, that is 6leadershiptrends.com. You can either spell out the number 6 in the URL or just use the number 6 in the URL. They will both take you to the same place. Thanks again for tuning in.